Hey YouTube, Doug Wallman here. For those of you who know me, I'm kind of a new content creator, kind of not. So I've been around probably since at least 2017, but I'm still kind of a rookie, as you can tell. I do try. So I'm trying out this new format, and I've been listening to a certain content creator. It's almost like less is more in a certain way. Of course, I've always elevate towards whatever I can to make things look nice. I did do a slight upgrade this morning. I've been wanting to actually to record from this particular angle for a while. I set it up last year. I just haven't been doing it a whole lot. It's a simpler, environment here in this corner of my, I'm going to say, studio apartment. It's more like a one bedroom, but and the new wave of YouTube, or trend if you want to call it trend, it's kind of that it's not so trendy actually, in the sense that it's not all smoke and mirrors. It's not flashy. It's just upload, like point your iPhone towards your. Probably you could have it on like a tripod and just record uh, kind of your life, but more to do with your job and how YouTube's working for you, how you're paying your bills, things like that. I think eventually I'm going to get around to saying the gentleman's name and his. I want to say his wife, but I'm a little confused if that's his wife or girlfriend. But um, I think we'll put off mentioning who they are, but you can easily find out. He really encourages hashtags life, um, and what's the other one? Subscribe is the other one. And there's a third one, but I can't remember. It's really early in the morning. I just got up. I did make myself some breakfast because I didn't want my stomach growling on video. And like I said, or actually I didn't say this yet. So the title of my video may vary a little bit, but I think it's going to be like this. When endurance looks more like grit than someone exciting or pleasant to listen to. Let me say that again, because you hear how my voice sounds. I'm a little under the weather, maybe even. I don't think I'm really sick, but that's just me contending for being well. When endurance looks more like grit than someone exciting or pleasant to listen to. I'm going to even say it one more time, if you don't mind me being repetitive. And that's another thing he encourages, just repeat. Just, I'm trying to encourage you actually to begin your YouTube journey. Start uploading videos. Don't be afraid to repeat yourself. Don't be afraid to record basically the same video day after day. Of course, you'll automatically change it up a little bit because you're not a robot. You will end up coming off from a slightly different angle every time you upload, but just keep doing it every day. So, when endurance looks more like grit than someone exciting or pleasant to listen to. And I imagine with my voice, I may or may not be so pleasant to listen to right now. I mean, it's down probably roughly an octave from what it normally would be. Maybe not an octave. That's like, what is that, 12 steps? 12 semi steps below. But the whole theme I'm kind of latching onto as I'm listening to more and more of these videos. In the wave that's catching on, there's lots of people sharing the same titles, the same hashtags, life. I don't think endurance is one, but I can make that one. Subscribe, and it wasn't honesty. That wasn't the one. It was respect. So life, respect, and subscribe. I've got to get these things rolling in my mind. But if you don't make notes, and you just keep making videos, it's gonna start catching on. I did have to make a note about my title because it had some nuances in there I wanted to capture. So hey, when endurance looks or sounds, when endurance, I probably should say sounds, when endurance sounds more like grit than someone exciting or pleasant to listen to. Hopefully, I look a little better than I sound this morning. And I think I feel a little better than I sound, a little bit. But my whole thing is I'm not going to call in. I'm going to go to work. I don't feel bad. I know there's been things going around at work, and it's probably why I'm dealing with this. But I know it was like a couple weeks ago, one of the workers had to go, decided to go home. It wasn't. There's just things that go on. It's an environment where you got the single mother trying to take care of child. Maybe not entirely single. I think she has a boyfriend, but I've got to fit my decorum for YouTube, and I struggle with that. I might share stuff that's maybe not pertinent. So just forgive me. I want to hone in the point, though, that what we want to do within the next, let's say, few months to a year is ride the wave of YouTube, because YouTube is making it easy for small uh, content creators to make some money, or at least get subscribers and get yourself an audience. And you don't have to think about the monetary value right away, but it's a time for you to share your heart, share what's going on. For me, how I've been paying my bills. Well, I've been living, I can't say totally minimalistic. You've seen the things I've bought and had unboxing videos. But part of what led to that is I got laid off on my prior job, and of course they had a little severance. I mean, I don't like to share that too openly. So I had a little break, even though the break was getting laid off. It helped in that regard. Um, where was I going to move to next? Because this what didn't happen in Sioux Falls. It was somewhere else. And excuse me. Um, I decided it would be in the. I did try to actually look for a job where I was at, but it fell through, and it kind of seemed like a timing direction thing. I was being guided, I believe in my heart anyway, to move to Sioux Falls. That's where I live now. Found a job. Actually, I moved here before I even found a job. I have some parents that are in their golden years, and they need someone to kind of look after them from time to time. At least that. I don't show up every day. I'm not gonna lie, but I do show up quite periodically, at least maybe twice a week. And if there's a holiday going on, we need transportation, things like that. Excuse me. I'm trying to make this video not too unpleasant, but I decided I'm going to do a video today too, even though I sound perhaps not the best, sound a little under the weather. I want to show the fortitude and the endurance and the strength. I do kind of capitalize on that. Maybe I'm lacking in some other areas in my life, but I do have that, and I'm able to put one foot in front of the other. And not to toot my own horn, I've even had even a sermon. Uh, I've had a sermon that makes no sense. There was a sermon once preached, and I was the example of endurance. And I know that's really not too humble to mention that on YouTube. And I'm sorry if that comes off arrogant, but it has happened. That was years and years and years ago. That preacher, well, I don't want to get into that. But he's not even around anymore. So I think it was back in the 90s, possibly early 2000s. I was noted as the person that would just keep going. It is kind of true. It's almost to a fault where I won't look at the results and what do I need to do to change to make this better. No, I'll just keep going. I mean, I obviously am not so enduring that I won't take a break or whatever. You can look at my upload patterns. I'll take a break, but all in all, I will keep going. As far as my job, I don't want this to be all about me. I just want to encourage you. As far as your job, don't quit YouTube. I'm sorry. Don't quit your job. Keep going with the YouTube. Try to embrace the both. Try to embrace the best of both worlds right now. Don't quit your job to do YouTube is what I was trying to say. Because that probably wouldn't be a wise choice. Even if you hit total, what's it called? Like a windfall where everything was going great. And you got monetized, and it wasn't just $300 or whatever. It was actually thousands of dollars. You got to be able to keep the stability going even in spite of absolute success. I'm not saying there wouldn't or couldn't be a time where you could taper off into full time with the YouTube, but at least it's a vision enough in your head where it's in the back of your mind. Where is this YouTube taking me? Where am I going with this? Even if for the time being your only goal is to upload a video every day, press play on your smart device. Hopefully it's an iPhone, right? No, I don't want to lose Android users. Those phones are more than capable. And then there's the other phones too. I forget, the Pixel. Let me take another sip of coffee. I'm just trying to illustrate a point here with my condition right now is contagious, right? Well, actually do want to be contagious. I want you contagious. I want you to catch on to the idea that even when you're not feeling well, we keep going. I'm not really actually feeling too bad, but I could say that I'm not. I could easily call in. I sound horrible. I could say I'm not feeling well, and it would be fine. Stay home. When I'm trying to illustrate the point of endurance, I know that can be overstretched too. I think I've even done a video on that. If I don't even know which one it is anymore. I think Teal Swan. I'm not trying to advocate for her. I think she did a video on kind of endurance is overrated, but in today's video right here, it's not overrated. It's something that you need to step into, because I do see a lot of that in the workforce. It's just people kind of coming and going as they please to some extent. And actually, my immediate circle isn't so much that way. People are showing up there. I'd have to give them some honor. I mean, there's situations where it's tough being in a certain situation, raising your kids, and you got responsibilities. I'm a single guy. Of course, keep in mind though, even as a single guy, I can do whatever I want, but I'm kind of just on my own too. So keep that in mind. Whether you're single or whether you have someone else to help you when you fall in the ditch. There's that proverb too. Is it Proverbs? I think two is better than one. For if one gets sick, what are they going to do? They'll be stranded in the ditch. Just a gross paraphrase, but what we do have is the endurance within, the strength that we can hold on to, and the promise that's within inside that resides, without trying to get into the religious aspects right now. Maybe some other time I will do that, but bro, it's within you. You have the power, you have the strength to keep going, even when it feels like it's falling apart. I mean, I've had my world fall apart in essence, but there was a few caveats. Um, you lost the love of your life, perhaps, but maybe in some aspect you got your life back. And I seen a video of is elderly a good term? She brought out the point that she wasn't really getting her way romantically with this one man that she had fallen in love with and continues to be in love with, but they've decided to move on as like best friends or something like that. And she's going to actually take a break from the relationship for a little bit and try to heal, because it did hurt to be in that situation. I think her name's Melinda, but I can't think of her last name right now. I will put a link in the description box of the video I'm talking about. The situation where you're in love, you're almost addicted to this person. It's not working out romantically per se, but you still have a friendship intact and you're trying to salvage that. Is kind of what I got from her video, but she talks much more from the heart. And that also is a matter of endurance. Sometimes in life we don't get our way, and what do we do next? What is going to be the theme from that point forward? There's a new developing theme, and that theme is developing us in the interim. And right now, I don't think endurance right now is like the thing that it used to mean to me. I mean, before it was pretty much drudge, put one foot in front of the other. When I was in this one situation, I forced myself to get up. At that time, I was making oatmeal. I had this regiment I followed where I got up, made my oatmeal, did my thing, showed up to work. And I continue to do that, although it's eggs now, not oatmeal, because oatmeal isn't healthy, as some would suggest. I think it can be if it's organic. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to get into health opinions. But I do question a little bit about oatmeal and cereal being as healthy as we've once projected them to be. But that's a whole rabbit trail there. Um, but yeah, I just stuck with my regiment until habits developed where I was getting up without the drudgery of it. You know, you take the bull by the horns, so to speak, and you keep holding on to your strength, or if you're religious, the strength that the Lord provides. That's fine. I mean, I'm not saying it's all my own strength, but I'm not denying that there's an inner strength that is mine because it belongs to me, whether it's given or whether it's something you muster up. We're not going to get into the spiritual or philosophical um, difference between those two aspects right now. The point is, no matter what it is or how you slice the pie, you have the strength. And if you don't, you're going to be given the strength. Let's say you don't have the strength. Fine. You don't. Then some some external source, God, is going to provide you the strength to keep going because the endurance is there for the asking. It seems like for some people, and I'm not talking to everybody, but the rug's been pulled out of you at one point or another. Probably a couple of years in the past. It could be now, but if I'm listening to who my audience is, it's probably been that you have endured to some extent. You have kept going because you're still here. If you haven't, pulled yourself up by the bootstraps, you probably even wouldn't be here. So you have embraced some level of endurance. But I'm telling you that right now there's an opportunity for you on YouTube to share your experience, to share some of your life. But again, I do want to remind you that it's not so much vlogging. And if I'm honest, I don't even know the difference between vlogging and a normal YouTube video, just to be honest. But you can share some aspects of your life, but really the high key point at this point in YouTube, if you want to follow the trends and ride the wave that the trend will take you. I mean, I don't want to be a shallow, fickle person. And that's not my point at all. But there are trends, and I don't think it's shallow to decide I'm going to ride this trend, I'm going to ride this wave. And it's actually about being more real, more authentic, more vulnerable. It's actually about that. So it's not fake to put the camera over there, probably just your phone. Make it as simple as you can. I mean, if you have lighting, I have a couple lights here. I did decide to do a little bit. I didn't have a full onboard LED thing going here. Just there already was an LED strip on this desk thing, whatever this is. So I decided to plug it in. I mean, I didn't like the color that was lit up. And I looked in my app to see if I could change it. It seemed kind of difficult at the moment because things weren't communicating with Bluetooth. So I just left it as is. I did try to dial it in, to an acceptable level. It's not too fancy. And my plant here is kind of drooping a little bit. Um, but just put out a video. Try to do it every day. And just speak from your heart about how things are going. How are you making it? Now, I need to get a little more into how am I making it? I do as much overtime as I can. Unfortunately, that's not available right now, but I do try to keep my cost of living down. I chose the cheapest rent I could find that was still like not total like a slumlord experience for me. I mean, they're respectable landlords. They actually changed ownership once since I've moved in here. Um, I keep my costs low. I've even had an attorney say, "Man, you need to increase your expense." But that's a different situation. Like that's back in 2016 or 17 in there. I think it was 17, maybe 18. I don't remember. I think it was 2018. But yeah, I keep my expenses low. I mean, I still have some expenses. I have Wi-Fi, real basic things like that, but I don't have a super great package. I quit Netflix years ago. I decided to stop that. I mean, at one point, the only reason I had it was my daughter was watching Netflix, and finally, I cut the strings. All right, I cut the provision there, I guess you could say. I did keep it up for a while, even though I was barely watching Netflix myself. It was an added expense, and if she wanted it, she could have her own Netflix account. Um, I'm just trying to think of. I can't think of a whole lot. Other content creators would probably share their work experience, and it would be more engaging. When you ask me, what do you do at work? Well, I solder, I assemble. Well, what do you do? That's what I do. I mean, I don't know if it's some issue I have with. I've never been diagnosed with autism, but sometimes I do wonder because I can give some pretty trite answers and people aren't satisfied. But to me, it means a lot when I say I solder. I'm sitting there with assemblies that I've got to solder, and there's different points. I don't do anything extremely like in the micro level of tiny, tiny chips, but I do solder chips. They're kind of bigger chips, but I solder. It's some level of intricacy, but probably not the like. I don't do surface mount too much. I kind of keep away from that. Now, could if they wanted me to go that direction, could I? Yes, I could. It just take another level of gaining experience in that particular skill set. So yeah, getting in front of the camera, you can tell I'm not super polished, but and if you're not, it's fine. Just put yourself out there on YouTube. Don't be afraid if you only get 20 views. Some of my videos only get 10, 20, 50. But then again, there's always that one I put out that got like 18, 20K. I think I have different gears in my realm of how to do things. I operate at different levels. There's more than one gear I can function at. And I can put out better videos than this, probably. I don't know if I've ever put out an absolute stellar YouTube video, but I've done some reviews on like a speaker, Edifier speaker, and it did well. Right now, I'm just trying to encourage my subscribers to put out a video about what YouTube is offering you, what it's doing for you. If it's not what it's doing for you in the present, think about what it's offering you for your future. YouTube is making it easy for the average person to become recognized in one form, shape, fashion, or another. If you really have to, you can even promote your videos. It's not organic, but I want to say I've had some videos. I don't know if viral is the right word, but they reach like I don't know 18K without promotion, somewhere within that realm. With promotion, yeah, you're gonna be seen. You want to make those videos at least halfway decent, so that you're not wasting your money. But and sometimes the subscriber and the watch hours don't count the same. In fact, in some technical way, they don't count at all. But still, there's spillover and residue that still accumulates from the compound effect or the snowball effect or whatever. So there is the compound effect. If you're uploading videos every day, stuff is going to compound. Your brain's going to figure out things that you're not even sorting through consciously. Subconsciously, your mind will pick up cues on how to speak in front of your iPhone or your Android or whatever device you're using. Your brain's going to help you out. Your spirit man is going to help you out if you want to be spiritual about it. All those things. Your soulish realm, however you want to put it. You're going to figure out what you need to figure out. The only thing is you're going to have to be able to put one foot in front of the other and engage in that uncomfortable moment when it's like, dang, what am I saying even? You got to be able to put yourself out there and reiterate this. Don't be afraid to repeat yourself. That's almost like the new trend. I was listening to this guy and I kept wanting to listen to him, even though he is saying the same thing over and over and over in slightly different ways. I wanted it drilled in my head when I was listening to him. It's like, fine, I'll listen to your 15-20 minute video. And it wasn't even fine, I'll listen. It's like I wanted to engage and listen. Now, I don't have the same personality, but I could probably borrow aspects. Um, and you could learn to borrow certain aspects. Not be yourself, of course, be yourself, but whatever it's going to take to sort of stretch that realm within you. Because we're kind of warm and fuzzy in our own pile of poo, so to speak. And just getting out of your comfort zone can help make your life, take your life to a new level. And I just want to encourage my subscribers or my non-subscribers. You don't have to subscribe. I mean, I encourage you to so you can continue watching my videos. Every day getting up, could give myself a break one day, but get yourself up. You don't have to do it in the morning like I'm doing it. You could find a better time of day. Your voice, you don't have to sound all gritty and like you're all full of resolve. You can probably be more authentic if that's you. You can say, man, I feel like crap, but I decided to take it easy in the morning as much as I could, and I relaxed and I allowed my body to recuperate. Unlike me, I relaxed last night. I did my best. I slept good. I probably slept better than I have in a while, and it almost brought me down in a certain way. Not down as far as health wise, but you know how it is when you wake up from like a deep sleep and you're kind of like in a slumber, kind of groggy. Well, that's kind of what this is. I think it is a mode of recovery, actually. But all else aside, I'm going to reiterate. This is what endurance sounds like when it's more about grit than someone trying to be exciting or pleasant to listen to. Now, I do want to be excitable. I want to be exciting. I've even had one person make a comment in one of my reviews. What are you so depressed about? This is a great product. And so I kind of got to take that cue that, yeah, I got to kind of pick up the pace a little bit. But I don't want it to be forced or unnatural. I do want to come off as authentic, real. I guess I've even thought of this before I seen this video. These videos I've been watching lately that have been trending. I thought even before then of just making a video about push play on that freaking device over there and start recording yourself. I was already thinking in that general direction. I just needed someone to listen to provide an example of what it looks like, what it looks like to put out a video every day. Now, am I what it looks like? Am I a prime example? I'm not a prime example, but I am an example. Okay. You may sound different than me. I hope you do. You may sound different than, I can't think of the guy's name. I'm about ready to mention it. I didn't think I would forget because I had his name down last night. I just can't think of it at the moment. My bad. But it's trending all over. And like I said, his hashtags are respect and honor. That's not respect and honor. It's respect, it's life, and it's subscribe. Probably not in that order. I think it's life, respect, subscribe. Life, respect, subscribe. Life, respect, subscribe. And I've seen another person include YouTube as a hashtag in this whole thing, this whole wave that's catching on YouTube. It's quite something to behold. There's lots of videos. I know people sometimes fall into trends and they come and go. But I do believe this is one wave that you want to ride. Don't just watch it come and go. even if it does come and go like you would expect it to, I think it's going to carry on a little more momentum. It's going to carry on a little more momentum this time, and you don't want to miss out. I've seen it at work. Some people don't even want to use the intercom, and they come to me looking all sweet and nice, and I like that. It's like, can you page so and so for me? And whenever I usually just do it. Once in a while, I'll make a comment. I'd like to encourage you to do it yourself too. I don't say it quite that way, okay? But they're not going to budge on that issue. They do not want to use the intercom. And sometimes it's not just people that can't speak good English. Sometimes it's people that can talk probably more fluent than me, eh, but they don't want to use the intercom. That kind of breaks my heart in a way. There's people, some of you out there, you're watching me speak, and you know you could speak better than I'm portraying and coming off, but you won't do it. So here I am. I'm struggling to some extent. Maybe I'm doing better now that I've finally kept decided to keep going on YouTube for a number of years. Maybe not as persistent as I should have, but I've whatever level of that I could polish up this grit into something that could at least be presentable for this kind of format. I mean, it wouldn't work for radio or TV, but it could probably work for YouTube. I'm hoping this works okay. Um, I kind of lost my train of thought with that, but what I was saying was, you're seeing where I'm at, and you're knowing that you could do better, or at least as good, or even if you think you couldn't do this good, don't let it stop you. If you think that I'm doing an awesome job, thank you. I don't think I am, but whatever level you're at, that's the level you need to start off at. You need to get your camera. If you don't have a tripod, hold it. Just hold it about right there. Don't do the vertical thing. Don't do shorts with this kind of format. Hold it vertically, landscape mode. Try to have the good lens facing you, but even if you don't want to do that and you want to see yourself on the screen so you can see where you're at, do it that way. Whatever it takes to put yourself out there. Talk about your work. Talk about how you're paying, how you're surviving. If you want to mention bills, you can. Talk about whatever you can in the work environment without getting yourself in trouble. I know there's some privacy things with work, especially with me in electronics. I don't know how much they'd appreciate me talking about certain products or what goes on behind the scenes, but it's an environment I do enjoy. I do like working there, so I'm being positive, and I'm not lying. I do like working where I work. Um, yeah, with that being said, if you don't know what to do, figure out the smallest step and just go with it. The slogan from Nike is just do it, and that's kind of what I'm doing. If you don't know how to aim, if you don't know the right sequence from ready, aim, fire, then shoot, aim, ready. Shoot, aim, ready. I mean, that's probably a bad thing to say with what's going on right now, but I'm speaking metaphorically. Okay. Um, if you don't know, I know it's good to be strategic, have your goals written out. But right now, for real, right now it's just time to get yourself out there. And you can't push play or you can't push record on that device soon enough and get it up there. Right now it is kind of shoot, aim, ready. Okay, it is that way. Even for those of you who are more prone to try to figure out the right techniques and methodology and how to make it most efficient. Efficiency is cool. I'm not efficient. I'm probably maybe more effective in the sense of just keep going. I've kind of sensed that I am in a rut. I'm a little bit stuck, but I'm making a little progress getting out of this rut. And if what I have to do is spin my wheels and burn some tire, I'm going to do it. That's not super efficient, but it is effective if you can see your way through. And I've been in those situations in the snow where I knew this isn't ideal, but if I rock myself back and forth a little bit, maybe I do have to get out and remove some snow. but I kind of need the right level of momentum to get myself out, even if it wasn't the most efficient. We have to work towards. We're at a certain place where we've developed to the point where we've developed. We've developed to the point where we've developed. We're going to develop some more, but whatever thrust or momentum we have, we need to use it. Get yourself on YouTube, press play. I don't want to drive it so hard that I'm pushing people away, but I do want to foster that encouragement within you, especially for those who have been thinking about doing it and are on the fence. I want to push you on the right side of the fence, or pull you towards me, actually. I want to pull you towards me, not push you away. I want to pull you towards this momentum, this wave that says, just do it. Get your camera out, put it on 60 frames per second. I hate that. If you have to, just do it 24. Shoot in the best resolution you can. That's practical. And record a video. Record your first video if you haven't done so yet. If you've been sort of uploading sporadically, do something more consistent every day. At least more consistent, if not every day. All right. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment. I'm going to try to not just rattle it off like a line like that. But if you would, I would appreciate you commenting. I would appreciate you subscribing and liking my video. I appreciate each and every one of you. I know life has been hard on certain ones of us, but we need to show life what we got. And when life sees that, when God sees that, if you want to say the universe, that's fine. You take a step forward, and I promise something's going to take place. I can't promise YouTube, but just the endurance itself. I'm not promising success, but what I am promising is if you can have that endurance to keep going, you'll have the endurance. So we're strengthening our muscles here. And I think there is a definite hope, a real tangible hope of success. So with that being said, thanks for watching. God bless you.